Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Wooski back here with another story time. Quick disclaimer before we get into this: if you hear any banging noises in the background, Mrs. Wu is making some fucking food, and she's very loud when she does it. So, just yeah, that's happening. All right, so my bad if you hear some fucking. All right, so. This is, as you can tell by the title, We Ran Off on the Plug, alright? So this happened back in 2022 with my best friend at the time. We're going to call him David, alright? So we hung out pretty regularly at this point. I would say 1 to 2 times a week, which is a lot for me back then. I had a lot going on, and I didn't have time to hang out a lot. So that was a lot for me to hang out with someone, alright? Especially, just with one person every week. So I wouldn't say, and who we ran off on, I wouldn't say it was our main plug, but it was someone that we grabbed off a bit of, and the reason why we did it is I'll get into that later, but it's an insane ass reason and honestly valid. All right, I would do this shit to this day if I found this shit out. All right. So we're going to get right into this. As I said, this was in 2022. I was in school at this point, but I wasn't going to school, right? I would go to school maybe one time a week, and it was just so I didn't get truancy. So I didn't have to bring my mom to court and all that bullshit, right? I wasn't trying to get brought in for some bullshit, right? That's all I got to say. So I went to school maybe one time a week, and this was not a time that I went to school, all right? So I woke up around 10. 10. And I decided to take a shower, and I immediately texted David, all right? That was my routine. If I didn't have shit going on that day, I'm texting David. I'm seeing what he's on, all right? David hits me back, and he decides he wants to hang out, all right? David had a car at this point, and he rode on over to my house, all right? I didn't have a license at this point, but I had a car, but my parents did not let me drive that shit. They did not trust me, and if I try to leave the crib in that car, I'm getting yelled at, and I'm not allowed back there, and I don't have a car. So it was dead mission, bro. They can keep that bitch all they want, all right? So he picks me up and we just ride around, all right? So at this time, we weren't necessarily trapping, but we were selling to support our habit, all right? So, we were selling to, pay for our next bag or, so we didn't have to pay for the damn weed because we didn't have a job at this point. My only source of income was TikTok and esports, bro. And back in, I was never a, necessarily good fucking player at, the game I was playing or anything. So I was getting paid, $100 a fucking month, bro. That isn't shit. And TikTok back then doesn't pay shit, right? So I'm sitting here I'm fucked. I'm fucked, all right? So we decide that we're gonna ride on over to his house. All right, he has all these bongs and shit. I'm pretty sure now it's an even bigger collection, but I don't talk to this dude anymore for some very weird reasons. All right, but we're not gonna get into that. But this dude had an insane collection of glass, and I had some bud on me, so we decided to ride on over to his house, right? And so in specific, I remember I wanted to hit this sword piece. All right, so when I say sword piece, it's literally a sword. It's upside down, the pointy part's going down, and it's like a vase bowl, and it's just I might throw up a picture if I can find one, dude. But this was some unique ass piece, and I loved it every single time. It hits so nice, right? So we ride over to the house and we hit this bowl, right? And I have a sale, all right? So this whole time I had told the sale that I was not necessarily on the way, but I was going to be sliding soon, and I hadn't even asked David if he can bring me yet, all right? So I finally asked David, I'm like, yo, can we bring me the sale? It's 15 minutes away. He's like, yeah. So like I said, I wasn't trapping back then. So this was only, realistically, I was probably only selling a 3.5 or 2 grams, bro. I was not selling no fucking zip, no fucking half. I didn't even have a half or a zip, bro. So no way I was selling you that, right? So we pull up on this dude, we sell this bitch. I remember back then I would only sell to people I knew. So it was probably 3 people I could have sold to. I'm not just gonna name them because it's not gonna happen. But I sold to one of my friends, all right? So we ride back to David's house, and at this point, we're trying to combine our money for the next bag, all right? So we're trying to get a decent amount. We're trying to get a half, and a half split between 2 people is 7 grams, and that's enough for me, all right? So I was down as fuck, all right? So like I said, the guy who we were grabbing off of, we weren't necessarily grabbing off him all the time, but he had, good prices, and it wasn't necessarily terrible weed. Definitely the worst that I could find, but not terrible weed, all right? So we only needed $40 each for this half, all right? So, yeah, $80 a half back then is honestly, I'm thinking back on it, that's kind of fucking, that's fucking dirty, bro. You know that's bad weed, bro. Holy fuck. All right, anyway, so we decide that we want to get weed. I don't know if I'm going to give him a name just because, he's not really, we're going to give him a name. I'm going to give him some weird-ass name. We're going to name him fucking Hiram, all right? So we decided we're going to hit up Hiram for this fucking half, all right? So this was back when I only had Snapchat at this point, so, I couldn't see his prices pre-texting this motherfucker, but I already knew he was charging like 80 a half. So I was like, I'm just gonna hit him up and ask for 80 a half. All right, that's exactly what I did. So I hit him up. And he says, yeah, all right. So we riding over to his house. Like I said, we picked up off from him like not like a lot, but a good amount. Like to the point where he was just chill with us. And we hit him up. He was like, yeah, come through. All right. So we pull up and we head into the infamous garage, all right? So we kind of walk around. So how we get to this garage, his house is like laid out how the normal ass suburban fucking neighborhood house is, right? You got the fucking 2 garages in the front, the big one, the little one, and then you got the fucking, you go around and you can get through the garage in a back door, and that's where we went, all right? So we walk through this back door and immediately we see Hiram smoking a fucking blunt, all right? Hiram wasn't necessarily he was a plug, but he would only necessarily have like 3-4 zips on him, dude. And like looking at that shit now, that's not a plug, bro. That's someone just selling their fucking bag, right? So I mean, not necessarily, I guess, but like that's not a plug, right? So we walk into Hiram's garage and he's way older than us, all right? Hiram is, I don't know exactly how old he is at this point. He was definitely like over 21 though, because he was able to go get wraps and like liquor and all that shit, right? So we walk into this garage with Hiram and we immediately notice that Hiram has some females with him, all right? Now, the reason why I like am naming these females, I'm not going to give them names or anything, but the reason why I'm saying this shit is because, like I said, Hiram is over 21 at this point. These females on this couch are not even, like, they are 16-year-old max. Like, no fucking way they're a day over 16, right? So I immediately look at David and I'm like, dude, like, you're seeing what I'm seeing, right? We kind of like give each other that look, oh my god, that look like, holy fuck. Like, is this really happening in front of our eyes right now, right? So, like, let me give you a little layout of this place. You walk in, and immediately there's 3 couches that are lined up to be, like, one of those expensive-ass U couches, but the motherfucker was too broke to afford them, so we just connected these shitty-ass couches together. And then there was this one recliner chair, all right? So we walk in. Hiram's on this fucking recliner chair, just chilled back, smoking a blunt, and these other fucking girls are, there's 3 females on one couch, just all next to each other, and they all look emo as fuck, all right? Now, that's not saying that's a bad thing, but like, what the fuck, Hiram? You're hanging out with some fucking young emo girls. What the fuck are you doing, buddy? All right, so we walk in and we immediately dab up Hiram. Like, I'm not going to just walk out of this bitch, right? So we dab up Hiram, we pay him, he gives us the bag, and we sit down and we get to talking because he asked if we want to smoke the blunt with him. I'm like, yeah, whatever, bro. So we get to smoking this blunt with him, and I look to my left, and so how these couches are set up, like I said, he's trying to make this U couch, but they're like normal ass, like straight couches. So in every corner where there would be like a U for the couch, he just put a fucking table there, right? Like a little coffee table, all right? And then on these coffee tables, a whole bunch of pieces, just ashtrays, random shit. But under the coffee table, I realized that there's a mason jar, like one of those big gallon mason jars full of fucking weed, right? So I'm like, dude, holy shit. Like, I already get to thinking, bro. I'm like, damn, like, if he actually is fucking with these females like that, I'm definitely taking his fucking re-up and running the fuck out of his garage, right? So I immediately just, okay, I don't know how I really told, what did I call him? David. I don't know how I really told David I was going to do this, but David just kind of knew, all right? So we get to talking to Hiram. I'm like, so Hiram, you got a girlfriend? And he immediately looks at this girl on the end of the couch, right? And I'm like, you? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, like, there's actually no fucking way, right? I'm thinking this, I don't say this out loud. I'm like, oh, nice. Like, how long you two known each other? Hiram's like, oh, a couple of weeks now. I'm like, oh, nice. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, dude, this is so fucked up, right? And I'm like, well, who are you two? Like, oh, we're just friends. Oh, all right. Like, what the fuck, right? And I'm telling you, these girls are our age, bro. Like, me and David at this point are dead ass like 15 and 16, bro. Okay, hold on. David's 18. I'm 16, all right? But like, still, we're not 21, all right? Fuck that, all right? We're not 21. So we decide that, okay, I decided that I was gonna take this man's re-up, all right? So after smoking this one, like 5 minutes after this, I look at this fucking mason jar one more time, and I make sure, like, I'm not, like, it's a good amount, and I look at fucking David, and I just kind of give him a look, right? I don't know if he, like, saw the jar too, or if he just was going to go along with whatever the fuck I was going to do, because this wasn't the first time we've encountered this type of situation. One of our other friends were fucking pedophiles, bro, and I can't really say what we did because the statute of limitations, but there will be a story on that, you best fucking believe, all right? So me and David, and I just look at David, and I'm like, yeah, bro. Like, I kind of give him that look, and I'm like, yeah, some shit's about to go down. Like, just run. Just get up and run. That's kind of like the look I gave him, bro. So after like 5 more fucking seconds of me just sitting there, I immediately, okay, so like I said, this couch is like the other couch that is like supposed to be a part of this U couch is like kind of behind this table. So I can dead ass reach under this fucking coffee table and just run the other fucking way. And like I said, Hiram is across the fucking room laid back on a recliner, bro. Like, this motherfucker's not catching me, right? So after 5 seconds of me sitting there, I reach under this fucking table. I grab this fucking mason jar. Me and David immediately get up and hit the fucking dash, right? I remember the adrenaline situation was so fucking high. I don't know why. I knew Hiram wasn't gonna do shit. He's not on shit. In the end of the day, he was hitting on some fucking 16-year-old, bro. Like, go the fuck home, buddy. Like, hell nah. So we run off, and my adrenaline is so high, bro. I'm just hoping David gets in his car and starts this bitch so fast and goes, right? So as soon as we hop out this fucking garage door, I slam that back door shut. We run around the house, get into David's car, and he starts that bitch so fast and goes. I'm looking back, I don't even see fucking Hiram, bro. Like, I dead ass think he just didn't even care, bro. Like, like I said, we got home and we got to David's house. I'm gonna be honest, it only looked like we didn't have a scale at this point, but I'm gonna be honest, it only looked like 2 ounces, or like maybe like an ounce and a half, 2 ounces. Like, it was a gallon mason jar, but that bitch was only filled up like halfway. And I'm like, damn, like, at least I got 2 zips, right? So we get to ride home and we go to David's house. I immediately block Hiram and everything. This motherfucker didn't even text me the whole ride home. Like, I did not even block him until we got to David's house, bro. And this motherfucker did not hit me up one time, bro. Like, he must have just known. Like, he must have known he fucked up, bro. Like, okay, let's be honest, bro. If this motherfucker did stop me and he tried to beat my ass, me and David were just gonna beat his ass. Hiram is a scrawny ass old dude. Okay, he's not old. He was like 20, but like, Hiram is not beating our ass, bro. Like, that is not happening, right? So anyway, that was a story on We Ran Off on the Plug. I do have 2 more stories of, unfortunately, I have 2 more stories of us doing this as some little fucking hoonigans, but they were way before this one, all right? So without further ado, I do want to tell you guys, I do have a clothing brand coming out in about a month called, okay, I don't know if I want to say the name because I don't know if that's for sure the name yet. But if I do want to share some info about it, it will be on the screen right here. Just like demos and like what it will look like, the name, prices, etc. Just like, you know, just check it out if you want to, I guess. But anyway, it has been Woo, and I am out.